So, boys, um, we're here. We are back knocking doors because I realized that life gets really expensive, and I need to generate a steady stream of income if I want to live the lifestyle that I need to cultivate my grades looking how they want to look, and having the lifestyle where I have the time to go to the gym and look how I want to look. And moreover, just kind of bring home the fact that life, like, you only get what you deserve, right? And what that means is that you get out what you put in. So you can make time for the things that you want to make time for, and you get out of life the things that you give time to. So a lot of people, they trade time for money. Some people, they trade, money for time. And all of this is just to say, right now, I'm broke as fuck, right? We're in college. We just took out student loans after I promised myself that I would never go to college if I had to take out loans. And we're applying to jobs, even though that about a year ago, almost, I promised myself that I would never have another 9 to 5 again. And, it's kind of like a reset. It's like a reframing. I mean, I'm not quite sure what exactly is the best thing to do in this situation, but I feel like I put a lot of pressure on trying to figure it all out. And in my life, I have always tried to put a lot of pressure on figuring it all out and just sitting down with the problems and trying to make a solution that fixes all of my problems forever and ever, and I just live a perfect life and don't have to worry about anything. But if my goal is to monetize helping other people make time for doing the things that they want to do in their life, as far as fitness, business, and academics, just like I've been doing for myself, then wouldn't it make sense to go through the same struggles and succeed at them? And this is kind of like a backstory for what this video is going to be about. So I'm driving and I'm on my way to come knock doors, and I'm actually physically stressed. I'm physically stressed. I felt as if I was going to lose my lunch, throw up, right? And the reason why I felt like this is because I am alone in my problems. No matter who I tell, the issues that I'm having, at the end of the day, the only person that can, solve those problems truly and genuinely is me. And I kind of just internalized that feeling, and I felt like life was happening to me. I felt like all of these things were happening to me, and I'm forced to sit here and make a solution for all of these problems. And if you read the Transurfing in 78 Days, that book, the pendulums were swinging. And, I was trying so hard to fight back and claw my way up the wall of my problems and just figure out a way, brute force my way to succeeding in this little chapter of my life. But in reality, the only way that I'm going to make it through this situation on the other side and stand where I see myself standing and where I want to be standing at the end of this little tribulation, this little test on my journey, is if I kind of just embrace the struggles that I'm going through and make the most out of it every day, right? I don't have to sit here and find the solution for all of my problems, making the amount of money that I need to make all right now today. I don't need to sit there and solve every single problem today, right? All I have to do is give my all today, right? And it just brings home the fact that the outputs don't really matter. You don't need to calculate the outputs. The outputs calculate themselves based on the inputs that you put in. So if I'm sitting here and I'm trying to find a solution for all of these problems that I'm having, which aren't even really big problems, they're very first world problems, and they're very easy to solve problems, right? The only problems I'm having is time management, and like my finances aren't exactly where I want them to be. But this isn't the season of my life where I'm rich, so I honestly don't need to make that much money. And time management is really easy when you just understand the fact that, like, when you ask yourself, what are your goals, right? Well, my goals right now are to be in the best shape possible, have the best grades possible, and have the most money that I can have feasibly in this moment, right? Well, it kind of sounds like all I need to do is generate income consistently and go to the gym and make time to study. All I have to do is worry about three things. I don't have to worry about finding a way to eat food. I don't have to worry about finding a place to sleep. I don't have to worry about... There's people in this world with problems way bigger than the ones I'm going through. So I feel like it is very ignorant and very egotistical, very selfish of me to sit here and just feel like it's the end of the world and my world is crumbling, which is the exact emotion that I genuinely felt whenever I was, first getting out of my car, and I was like, fuck, like, I need to lock in, right? And it's a very important emotion to feel, feel the responsibility for the situation that you're in. But when I look back and I, like, talked to my brother, I called my brother, and at the end of the talk, we were on the phone for about 55 minutes. It became very simple to me that the solution to my problems aren't some big mountain of tasks that is going to lead me to a place where I'm not going to stress or I don't have to worry about anything. It's a simple checklist of, like, okay, if it doesn't have anything to do with winning, if it doesn't have anything to do with progressing me forward to where I want to be, then I probably shouldn't do that. Just don't do that. And if it doesn't help my physique, don't do it. If it doesn't help my grades get better, don't do it. And if it doesn't help me make money, then don't do it. And it becomes like a very simple situation where it's like, okay, in this moment, what do I need to do? Right? Well, I needed to get a microwave because, to be honest with you, Brandon, and everyone, I planned on having way much more money this past week. I didn't know that rent was going to double, and I was just going to go buy a microwave and bring it to the dorm. So I didn't have a microwave, so I had to buy a microwave right now. And I spent a lot more money than I was planning on spending on a microwave, right? Or just in general, spending money right now. And then I was like, okay, well, now what? Well, I need to give myself the highest chance of making money, because I don't have a consistent job where I just have an hourly thing and I just make that exact amount of money right now, because I'm still in a commission-only sales job. So I asked myself, okay, so I do not have a confirmed way of making money right now, but the highest chance I have of making money is by knocking on as many doors and talking to as many people as possible. Okay, boom. So I have the money taken care of, right? All I have to do is put in the inputs that allow me to make money, which is talk to as many people as possible today. Because all it takes is one person, and boom, I'm $300 up, which kind of covers a lot more than I would imagine. Then, what else? Okay, got the microwave, boom, done. So I have finances covered. I haven't started school yet, so my grades are already covered. I mean, making money kind of takes care of the other stuff, because I need to, pay for my books. So that's a thing. Then fitness. Well, I'm walking around right now, so I'm kind of getting my fitness done. And I'm making money by talking to people. Every person I talk to brings me closer to making money and ups my percentage chance of making money. And me making money is going to allow me to buy books and buy more resources, maybe tutoring, to have better grades. So now that I talk myself through it, all that I need to do to succeed in this moment today, all I need to do right now, right? The only thing that I can do and should do And the only beneficial thing that I could do right now is just talking to as many people as possible, knock as many doors as possible, give myself as many at bats, right? Just give myself a million chances, because all it takes is one. But I had to sit down on this bench right here, and kind of document this, because this is the stuff. This is the stuff that the whole YouTube channel is about, right? This is what's going through my head. This is like a live, vlog, I guess, of like what goes through my head when I'm dealing with the bullshit that everybody else has to deal with, going through the struggles of what everybody has to go through. And this is kind of just a reflection of, okay, you're lucky to have the problems that you're having. And when you really break it down, there's always at max like a 3-step process to remove the struggle that you're going through and make it to the other side of the problems that you're facing. And all you have to do is make it make sense. All you have to do is make it make sense, right? I'm knocking on doors. That makes sense in my situation right now, because it makes the most sense, actually, because knocking on doors and talking to as many people as possible right now solves all of my problems. It gives me money, gives me an opportunity to talk to more people. It gives me an opportunity to connect with people. It gives me exercise, cardio. And, the answers to your problems are always simpler than you want them to be. But simple doesn't always mean easy. Simple does not always mean easy. And when you are in a big struggle and your brain does not have enough computing power to, kind of solve the problem that you're facing. It doesn't have to be good or bad. Something really exciting happens and you ask yourself, like, man, like, I don't know what to do with all of this. So you call somebody, or me specifically, I was struggling and I was super stressed, and my brain didn't have enough computing power to, kind of get to the root of the problem and kind of understand in most simplest form that it doesn't take a big laundry list of things to remove myself from this problem and this struggle. It honestly just takes a little bit of grit and a little bit of extra computing power. And what I mean by that is, like, when you're going through a struggle, right? I was going through a struggle, and my brain did not have the bandwidth to handle the struggle I was going through. And as lame as that sounds, right, that I can't do it all on my own, right, as much as a macho man as I want to be, right, everybody needs a support system. And so I called my brother, and he was talking to me about something very sciencey, but something very sciencey that makes sense. Whenever your brain does not have enough computing power to handle the struggles that you're going through, or handle the amount of emotion that you're going through, it reaches out to other people in kind of like a quantum mechanical way, right? So if you know anything about quantum mechanics, then you understand the idea of quantum entanglement. So I called him, and our brains quantum entangled, and now that's what you call being on the same page. We're on the same page, working on the same problem, and it allows for so much more RAM, right? So much random access memory, so much more computing power to be focused on this one problem of what the fuck Jordan Ezell is gonna do to succeed, right? And I feel like it's very simple, and I'm glad that he brought up the scientific fact of it, because it made it make more sense that, nothing is impossible to do, and no thought is too big, or no math equation is too hard to solve. No situation is as hard as you want it to be. It's actually really simple. But when you have the support system to reach out to somebody and have a beneficial conversation to kind of the problems or the amount of emotion that you're handling, it really helps to create community. And that's the whole idea of why I'm doing what I'm doing, and why I'm trying to overcome the struggles that I'm overcoming, and why I always ask God for more pain, more struggle, because I want to overcome it so that way I can help other people overcome the same struggles that I overcome, right? And by doing that, I'm giving people a space to come to me and use my, my word bank or my computing power to help them on their specific problems. Because if I already have the memory of how to do it, if I have the muscle memory of how to overcome that struggle, then I can directly apply myself to that situation, and our brains are automatically on the same page. And that's the whole point of why I'm doing this. That's the whole point of why I'm making this YouTube video. And that's the whole point of why my brother mentioned the quantum aspect of kind of how human brains work, and why community is such an important part of humans, and how community is what makes humans, right? And that was very powerful. But right now, if you're more interested in the science aspect of that, just drop a comment. Or if you're more interested in kind of joining this community that I speak of, kind of helping me found it, and honestly, if you're interested in helping me build this community, you can find me on Instagram or on YouTube. But yeah, that kind of concludes this little audio digital journal. And right now I'm supposed to be knocking doors. And that's exactly what I'm going to go do. I'm going to go give myself as many opportunities to generate income as possible. And after that, I'm going to go pick up the microwave that I bought from Target. And then after that, I'm going to apply to as many jobs as possible. Because anything that generates income for me and applies a little more stress, a little more struggle to my life is beneficial for where I want to be on the other side of this chapter of my journey. Because the best chapters in a book, the best scenes in a movie are the ones that have the most going on and, are the coolest. And if you want to be a badass, and you want to be cool, you have to go through hard shit. You don't look at the guy in the movie that's just a nerd and just, goes to work, goes home as the coolest guy in the story. You look at the guy that, he had the most pain, the most struggle, and still came out on top. So if you want to be that guy, drop a comment, DM me on Instagram, and let's figure out why you are not exactly where you want to be. Let's allow our brains to compute together on the problem and figure out exactly what it takes to get from where you are to where you want to be. And first step to doing that is understanding exactly why. Just ask yourself, why do you deserve the life that you want to live? And what things bring you closer to that? Because if it doesn't have anything to do with winning, if it doesn't have anything to do with bringing you closer to where you want to be, just don't do it.